Hello, North Central Washington, and welcome to Networked. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian, and we have an exciting episode for you today. In this episode, we'll be highlighting one of the most anticipated annual events in the region, and personally, one of my favorite events of the year, the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Joining me in the studio today is Darci Christoferson, the festival administrator, who will be sharing a little about the rich history of the festival, the royalty program, as well as some of the events and highlights of this year's festival program. The Washington State Apple Blossom Festival has been a celebrated event for over a century, and it's a time for residents and visitors alike to come together and enjoy a wide range of events and activities. Spanning over 11 days, the festival attracts over 100,000 visitors who can enjoy a variety of activities, such as food vendors, entertainment in the park, an amazing beer garden, over 100 arts and crafts vendors, a carnival, a youth day, and golf tournament. Of course, the festival's two parades are a huge highlight, with the youth parade featuring nearly 5,000 young participants from the community, and the Grand Parade showcasing over 5,000 participants from Canada, the Northwest, and our own community with over 100 unique parade entries. The 2023 festival will be the 104th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, running April 27th to May 7th. It's an event that's highly regarded in the Pacific Northwest, with our mission being to create an annual celebration that is family-friendly, highlights our community's people, heritage, and fruit industry. As someone who's attended the festival year after year, I can attest to the fact that it is truly a special event that brings our community together. So as we dive deeper into the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival with Darci Christoferson, we'll be right back after this break. Welcome to Network TV. I am so excited about my guest today, Darci Christoferson from the Apple Blossom Festival. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks.
I have admired you for years. You're an incredible leader in the community. You host the most important community event, the Apple Blossom Festival. My personal favorite here, I'll plug that. But you know, there's so many people who have moved into the community over the years, and of course, this news station gets traffic all across Washington State. So there's a few people who don't know you, far and few between. So, but let's start with you. I'd love, Darci, for you to kind of introduce yourself before we dive into all the great work of Apple Blossom, so our viewers get to know you.
Yes, yes. Well, I was raised in East Wenatchee, graduated from Eastmont High School in 1985, and then I was Apple Blossom Queen in 1985. So that's kind of where my role for Apple Blossom began, although when I was younger, I was in all the parades. I was in the youth parade and the Grand Parade. And then I went to Wenatchee Valley College for 2 years and got my AA, went on to Eastern and graduated with a communications degree. And then I moved back home to save money and go to the big job in Seattle. Yeah. So that didn't happen. I actually, worked at Maurice's in retail, and then I continued to be in sales at the Nickel Ads and Kiss and Country Radio. And then I got involved with the festival as far as volunteering, and then this job happened in 1994, and here I am, still doing it 29 years later.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's an incredible career of service you've had to the Apple Blossom organization.
It's been pretty cool, and I'm involved with Wenatchee Central Lions Club, and I'm involved with the LTAC board for the city of Wenatchee, so I do other things besides just Apple Blossom as far as serving, which is also a great way to get people that I work with in that capacity to help with Apple Blossom. So I'm always working with volunteers to bring them into Apple Blossom for sure.
I can only imagine the number of volunteers it takes to produce 11 days, right? 11 days this year of events, programs, activities. And it's so much more than just those 11 days. Yeah. You really have some year-round stuff. We're going to go into royalty and scholarships here in the next segment. But maybe tell us a little bit of a high-level overview of Apple Blossom. Someone, like I said, new to the area or watching from out of town, at the heart, what is the festival?
Yeah, so we, like you said, we have multiple events that go on throughout the whole year. So a lot of times people just think, oh, it's May 9th, you get to hang out and lay out in the sun and be by your pool all day long for the rest of the year. And that's so not how it works. We are busy all year long. So our fiscal year starts September 1st.
Okay.
So that's kind of when 2024 will officially start for us, will be September 1st of 2023. So what we have first is our auction. We have a huge auction that is in October, and that started off as being an auction that the proceeds go to our scholarship program. Well, now it has gotten so big that it goes to the whole royalty program.
Okay.
So it helps pay for the float, it helps pay for the scholarships, it helps pay for the girls going to all the out-of-town festivals. So when it's all said and done, just that part of our budget is about $50,000. So that's where the auction proceeds go to. So we do that in October. We have about 400 people that attend that event. And then after that, we go on to our royalty program, which we'll talk about later, but that's in February. So then we work super hard on that. And then once pageant's over, then it's all about Apple Blossom. So we really do work all year long.
Year round.
We do.
Year round.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about, so we're coming into the 104th Apple Blossom. What a legacy. How has the festival evolved over the years from its inception to what people will see this year at the 104th year? Yeah,
when it first started in 1920, it was really just a one-day event. It was a coronation of the Queen at Memorial Park, and then the parade, and probably a couple little festive things in the park that they did. Then in the 70s, it became 2 weekends. So it was always just one weekend, which would be the parade.
So for over like 50 years.
Yeah, forever it was just the parade and some other events. And then they decided to add the youth parade. So they did that probably in the late 60s, early 70s. So then they would have 2 weekends. Then in the late 80s, they decided they would have it go all year round, or all week long. Okay. So then that started in the 80s. So now it's just evolved. Really, Memorial Park has been the part that has evolved more than anything, because basically all 11 days of the festival, we have entertainment, we have the beer garden, we have food, we have arts and crafts, we have a youth day. So really what has evolved is this Memorial Park, which is over 100 years old. To have the festival still be in the park where it was founded is really quite amazing that is still happening.
And I'm sure very rare.
Very rare.
Think about the evolution of different events and festivals across the state or even country to have the same heart,
everything's
origin.
the same.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit about like how the festival is really family friendly and all age accessible. We changed the whole cruising aspect in 1997, and that was a fun event for all of us when we did it back in the day, but it really became not safe anymore. So the board of directors in 1997 decided that we need to make it more about family, and that's where the whole aspect of the youth day, adding more entertainment so people could come down and hang out with their families. And that's, how it all started. Everything we do is about families, senior citizens. We have groups that bus senior citizens to the beginning of the parade so they're able to watch the parade. Our royalty visit, the senior citizens, they visit the elementary schools. So really everything that we do is about family and different generations. There's something for everyone, I think, at Apple Blossom. You've got arts, entertainment, an amazing beer garden that you can enjoy outside in the summer sun. But tell me a little bit about all of the partners that come in together to make that happen, because there are so many pieces. You talked a little bit about the volunteers. How do you piece all that together?
So I have a board of directors.
Okay.
We have a 12-member board of directors that is ran by our director general, who's like the president of our board.
Okay.
So this year it's Siobhan Fryover, and that group basically plans the festival.
Okay.
Then I have about 20 chair people. So each one of our events has a chairperson that is in charge of that event.
Okay.
So then they're in charge of gathering their volunteers for their particular event. And that's where the number of, when we say 500 volunteers, overall that's how many volunteers we have throughout the festival. And that counts as the auction, pageant, and the actual 11 days of all the events that we put on.
Yeah.
So I just kind of am the person that says, okay, yeah, we can do that. Or make the phone calls to the porta potty company or waste management or the rent me shed, the grin bin or the grease bins, the city of Wenatchee. You know, that's a big thing. Is I literally have 5 different people that I work with for 5 different reasons for the city of Wenatchee, whether it's hanging the banners up or getting the city permit or working with electricity for the food vendors or turning the water off in the park. So that takes a lot of time to do that. So really it's my chair people that create everything, and then they come up with the volunteers, and then it just all falls into place. And that's really what I've learned through the years is you got to let these people do their thing. You know, you got to let these chair people have ownership in it, because that's when it happens, and that's when the success happens. If you let them have their vision, it's very rewarding for them on that 11th day.
Empower them to run the process.
We're all exhausted, but then when they see Alex Haley sees how successful that beer garden was and how happy it made everyone, it's pretty fulfilling. So I've really made a point through the years to just make it about them, because they do all the work and they come up with all the ideas.
Well, it takes a strong leader still to orchestrate that, so kudos to you and the team. Before we head to a brief commercial break, I want to give a shout out to the city of East Wenatchee too, because you have a component that's outside of Memorial Park in Classy Chassis.
Yep, we have that's an event that the city of East Wenatchee puts on, but it is a sanctioned event of the festival. And having the carnival at the mall, again, that's huge, and we appreciate the city of East Wenatchee very much. It's awesome working with them.
And so you've been able to extend outside of just Memorial Park into some other family-friendly activities through partnership. Well, we have to head to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the royalty program, the scholarships, as well as the luncheon this year. Don't go too far. And welcome back to Networked. I have been on air with Darci Christoferson talking all things Apple Blossom Festival. I learned so much about the logistics that you put on every year. Super impressive. But something that's really important and intertwined with the festival is the royalty. Tell us about the royalty program.
So that, again, has been around for 104 years. It has never gone away. And basically what it is senior girls in the East Wenatchee School District have the opportunity to run for Apple Blossom Royalty. We start meeting with them in November to just kind of talk to them about how much time it takes. And then they make that decision, and then they work with the schools to practice their speeches. And then in January, we have what we call top 10 speeches and get to know yous, and that's where 10 girls from 5 from Eastmont and 5 from Wenatchee School District become our top 10. And then they get all kinds of training for a month, and then they go on to pageant, and that's where we choose our royalty. We're super proud of our royalty scholarship program. In the 80s, the 10 girls would be princesses, and we would just choose a queen. So when that was what it was like for me.
In your era.
So I was queen, and then we had 9 princesses, and the princesses got like $200, and I think I got $1,000. So when we went back to 3, one of the main reasons why we decided to do that was really for the scholarship program. We felt that these girls work so hard throughout the 3 months of Apple Blossom, and then during the summer that they have to give up their jobs, you know, so we felt like they needed more money. So that's where we created the auction and wanted to grow that scholarship program. So our queen receives a $10,000 scholarship, which is actually provided by the Wenatchee Appalachians. They provide the queen scholarship. And then the 2 princesses receive $5,000. The remaining 7 girls get $1,000, and then we give out 4 awards during pageant, where each girl gets $1,000 for the awards.
And those are really meaningful scholarships when you think about how expensive tuition can be at, you know, whether that's a 2-year or a 4-year, plus the opportunity for leadership development. What are the kind of qualities do you look for in these young women that become royalty? Yeah, we actually, you know, tell the judges this, that, you know, we want a real 18-year-old girl. We don't want, you know, girls that act 30. You know, we expect them to act their age. But they do need to know what it's like to serve. They need to be aware of our community and their surroundings, but they also need to be fun-loving. So that's kind of what we look for. You know, our pageant is not a beauty pageant. It is not Miss America. It is not Junior Miss. You know, it's a community pageant, and these 3 girls need to know what it's like to serve. And you nailed it about them maturing, and that's what this process is once they make the top 10. It's about getting them ready for the next level of their life for college. And we constantly get this feedback from former top 10 girls, whether they continue on or not, is, I went through Rush and it was so easy because I went through this process. Or I had my first big job interview and it was so easy because I did it to get ready for pageant. So that's kind of what this royalty process has become for us that do all the work for it. And when I say us, we have like 13 coaches that help them with etiquette and makeup and eating and media. We are super proud of the fact that these girls are ready for the next phase of their life. So it's kind of what it's becoming for us, is like a training thing. And then a lot of skill building. A lot of skill building for any application in life, to be able to handle a job interview or to meet someone new or to serve in a community role. Those are things that they're going to take with them forever.
Forever. And to learn how to serve and to learn about your community. You know, that they always walk away, again, whether they're in the final 3 or in the 10. I had no idea. I had no idea that, you know, Stamilk did this with apples, or, you know, they have no idea. So it's pretty amazing to watch their eyes light up throughout the process.
Touching in on that, I've seen so far this year the royalty at the Wenatchee Downtown Association dinner, at the Chamber of Commerce dinner. Just ballpark, how many events and activities are your royalty attending in a year?
Yeah, they usually go to about anywhere from 100 to 150 events throughout. They're crowned on February 11th. And then this usually continues, well, they'll go to festivals until August. So they're busy from now until August. Sometimes the girls leave for school early, so they miss that last festival. If they go to Pullman or Boise, they sometimes miss that last festival. But they're busy going to all events. In fact, right now they're at Quincy Rotary. Yeah, so they go everywhere. And they go to all the service clubs, they go to all the elementary schools, senior citizen center, anywhere. I mean, they go everywhere.
Learning opportunity.
It really is.
Let's talk about service clubs, because you are very involved with supporting service clubs, and you have a huge luncheon every year at Apple Blossom. What is the All Service Club luncheon? So we've changed it to be the All Service Community Luncheon, just because it is open to the public. And a lot of times people feel like, because it's all service, that you have to be in a service club to go. So we've changed it to All Service and Community Luncheon. And basically, it's an opportunity for us to honor our dignitaries. So we honor all the people that have been given awards throughout this year. So we have like our Lehman Johnson Award winner. We have the Apple Citizen of the Year that will be announced next week. Our Grand Marshal. We give out an award also that day. But it's just an opportunity for us to honor all of our dignitaries, and then also for the service clubs
to, you know, get excited for Apple Blossom. That's kind of how it started. It was kind of the kickoff to the big weekend.
Oh, okay.
So all the service clubs would get together and they would, yay, it's here, and then here's the parade. Right. So as far as it, you know, being evolved, you know, we have 300 to 400 people that go, and it is open to the public.
Okay.
We're super excited about our guest speaker this year. Colonel Sarah Babbitt will be our speaker, and she's also our Grand Marshal. Okay. And I really encourage people to go online to appleblossom.org and look at her bio. She's a former graduate of Eastmont High School. She graduated in 1996, and she also was a top 10 candidate.
Okay, so she's done the royalty.
She's done the top 10, and she will tell you that was one of the most amazing opportunities for her, and she will tell you that it really helped her grow and get ready for this next phase of her life. So she stayed here and went to Wenatchee Valley College for 2 years, and then went to WSU and was involved in the ROTC program, and that is what started her journey through the Air Force. So she's very excited to come home and tell us about her stories, because she has some amazing stories.
What an inspiration to have kind of a hometown story, and so connected with Apple Blossom as well. You featured tons of great speakers over the years.
Oh yeah,
through this event.
Yeah, we have, and we've had some amazing Grand Marshals. It's always fun to honor people, hometown people. You know, we don't want to do that every year, but it's nice when we're able to do it. So we have a wide variety of ideas for Grand Marshal and for speakers. Okay. You know, so yeah.
So we've covered a lot today. If someone wants to get involved with Apple Blossom, whether that's as a sponsor, a partner, participate, what does the process look like?
Well, I always tell people to go online and research our appleblossom.org, because anything about Apple Blossom is on there. You know, the history of Apple Blossom, all the youth parade, grand parade, everything you want to know. We also have a link where you can sign up to volunteer. Okay. And then same with sponsorships. You can do that. But I always encourage people to call me. You know, just give me a call at Apple Blossom 662-3616, and you know, I'll talk to you about the different ways to volunteer. The fun ones to always volunteer for is the beer garden. Okay. You know, once you volunteer for the beer garden, everybody loves volunteering for the beer garden. And the parades are always fun. Right. You know, to watch, especially the youth parade. You know, when you're up at the top of the youth parade and you watch 5,000 kids get ready for the youth parade, it's like the best heartwarming thing ever. So it
and
just
they're so excited.
And they're so excited, and they go down the parade route, and you're just like, and then the grand parade, you know, when the bands go down, I always cry the first band. So it just kind of depends on what you want to do. Okay. You know, we love decorating for the auction. You know, there's just all kinds of different things that you can do to be a volunteer. So it's really kind of what you want to do. And that's why it's always nice to call me. Yeah. And then I can ask you that question, what do you like to do as a volunteer? And
kind of find the right niche for that person.
Then we kind of direct people that way. Somebody just called me the other day and said, I want to do something. And I said, you can be a parade marshal on the corner of a Rondo and Cherry Street. They're like, okay.
Done.
So just their personality, they're perfect for that corner. Yeah. So it just kind of depends on your personality and what you want to do. But we always love having new volunteers, for sure. Even working in the office and answering phones.
And your office is in Memorial Park.
It is. Okay. It is. Yeah, we've been there for about 10 years now, and we love being right there. Right. It's so nice. So nice.
Yeah. So the festival, same place as it's been for 104 years, and now the office is there as well. So what a great home to have.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. It's just perfect.
Well, Darci, thank you for coming on air. If you are watching, don't miss out on Apple Blossom Festival. Go to the website, see all the events and activities, and don't forget to find out how you can get involved and volunteer. We'll see you again next week here on the NCW Life Channel.